The man, the myth, the controversy, introducing Michael Saylor. He burst onto the Bitcoin scene like a supernova. Michael Saylor, a name already known in tech circles. But crypto, that was new. He wasn't just interested. He was consumed, possessed by an idea that could change everything or ruin him completely. He stood at a precipice, gazing into the digital abyss, and he decided to jump, taking his company, MicroStrategy, with him, a software firm, now a Bitcoin vessel. Some whispered he was a visionary, a modern-day Midas, turning digital code into gold. Others saw a darker side, a manipulator, a man playing a dangerous game, with other people's money. His pronouncements were bold, unflinching. He spoke of Bitcoin with religious fervor, as if he'd seen the promised land, and it was paved with cryptographic keys. The controversy swirled around him, a storm of speculation and awe. Michael Saylor didn't do things by halves. His Bitcoin ambition was monumental, almost unthinkable. He wasn't content with a small allocation, a diversified treasury. No, he wanted a significant piece of the entire Bitcoin pie, a hoard of digital gold that would make dragons jealous. He was on a quest, a relentless drive to accumulate, to own, to dominate, some might say. The scale of his vision was breathtaking. The whispers started, then they grew louder. 10%. Could it be true? Was Michael Saylor, through MicroStrategy, aiming to control 10% of all Bitcoin that would ever exist? Only 21 million coins, forever. The audacity of it. To corner such a substantial portion of a global decentralized asset. It sounded like a plot from a cyberpunk novel, a digital emperor forging his domain, one Satoshi at a time. To sell his grand vision, Saylor became a wordsmith, a master of metaphor. He needed to translate the complex, arcane world of Bitcoin into something relatable, something compelling, something irresistible. He wasn't just buying an asset, he was selling a dream, a new paradigm, and he crafted the language to make it shine. He spoke not just to investors, but to the soul of a generation seeking change. He called Bitcoin digital energy, a brilliant stroke. It conjured images of pure, incorruptible power. An energy source for a new financial age, unbound by governments, unstoppable by borders. It was clean, it was efficient, it was the future. This wasn't just code, it was the lifeblood of economic freedom. The metaphor was potent. It captured imaginations, it made Bitcoin feel elemental, fundamental, almost alive. Then came the Magic Hotel. Wall Street was curious about Bitcoin, very curious. The returns were undeniable, the buzz, inescapable. But it was also the Wild West, unregulated, fraught with operational headaches. Custody was a nightmare. Compliance, a minefield. The big financial institutions, the pension funds, the endowments, they needed a way in. A safe passage, a trusted intermediary. They needed a bridge to this new world. Michael Saylor saw his opening, and he seized it. MicroStrategy, his publicly traded software company, would become that bridge. It would transform, from a purveyor of business intelligence to a vehicle for Bitcoin investment, regulated, audited, listed on the NASDAQ. Wall Street understood stocks, it understood public companies. MicroStrategy would be their Trojan horse, a familiar structure to access an unfamiliar asset. Section 5, Volatility's Ringmaster Dollar MSTR, the Bitcoin Amplifier. Bitcoin's price action was legendary, a bucking bronco, soaring to dizzying heights, plunging to terrifying depths, often in the blink of an eye. This volatility scared away many conservative investors. It was too wild, too unpredictable. But Michael Saylor? He saw opportunity in the chaos. He wasn't just going to ride the waves, he was going to harness their energy. And his company's stock would be the conduit. MicroStrategy stock, dollar MSTR, began to dance to Bitcoin's tune. But it was a more dramatic performance, a leveraged echo. When Bitcoin rallied, dollar MSTR often rocketed higher, faster. Section 6, the Decentralization Dance, a play for trust. Bitcoin was born from a desire for decentralization. No single point of failure, no all-powerful leader, no central bank, power to the network, power to the users. Yet here was Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, amassing a colossal Bitcoin fortune, becoming a central figure, a whale whose movements could create waves. This concentration of influence began to raise eyebrows. It felt antithetical to Bitcoin's core spirit. The crypto community valued its distributed nature, its resistance to control by any one entity. Saylor's growing dominance, however well-intentioned he claimed it to be, was a concern. He was becoming the public face of corporate Bitcoin. His pronouncements carried weight. His company held more Bitcoin than any other public corporation. This was a paradox. a decentralized asset seemingly being centralized, at least in terms of corporate ownership. Understanding the optics, and perhaps the genuine concerns, Saylor made a strategic maneuver. In a widely publicized move, he relinquished his majority voting control over MicroStrategy. Section 7, on the razor's edge, the colossal risks of the Bitcoin gamble. Michael Saylor's Bitcoin Odyssey was a breathtaking spectacle of conviction, but beneath the bold pronouncements and soaring ambition lay a chasm of risk. This was no cautious diversification, this was an all-in bet. A company's entire future staked on the volatile price of a single digital asset. He was walking a tightrope, thousands of feet in the air, with no safety net in sight. The world watched, holding its breath. To fund its relentless Bitcoin acquisitions, MicroStrategy had taken on substantial debt, billions of dollars, leveraged loans, convertible notes. This capital was poured into Bitcoin, tying the company's financial health directly, inextricably, to Bitcoin's wild price swings. If Bitcoin continued its ascent to the moon, Saylor would be hailed as a financial prophet, a genius of unparalleled foresight. The debt would be a footnote to a legendary success story. But what if the music stopped? What if Bitcoin entered a prolonged, brutal bear market? A crypto winter that froze asset values for years. The value of MicroStrategy's vast Bitcoin holdings would evaporate. Yet, the debt would remain, looming, demanding repayment. Margin calls could trigger a cascade of forced selling. The company could face insolvency. Saylor's empire could crumble into digital dust. His reputation shattered. The stakes were astronomically high. Section 8. The Bitcoin Fortress, Saylor's financial citadel. Michael Saylor's ambition stretched far beyond simply stacking saties. He wasn't just hoarding Bitcoin, he was meticulously constructing a financial fortress. An edifice designed not only to protect his company's vast crypto wealth, but also to serve as a gateway for the titans of traditional finance. He envisioned MicroStrategy as the bedrock upon which Wall Street could build its Bitcoin future, a trusted partner in an untamed new world. This vision involved more than just secure custody. Saylor aimed to provide clean collateral, Bitcoin that institutions could confidently use in sophisticated financial transactions. He spoke of developing the tools, the products, and the infrastructure that traditional finance, TradFi institutions, desperately needed to fully engage with Bitcoin. He was laying the railroad tracks for the institutional gold rush he saw coming. He wasn't just waiting for the future, he was actively engineering it. Section 9. The final verdict: genius, gamble, or grand deception. So, who is Michael Saylor, the architect of a new financial dawn, or a modern-day Icarus flying too close to the digital sun? His Bitcoin crusade has been nothing short of spectacular, a high-wire act performed on the global stage. He has irrevocably linked his destiny, and that of MicroStrategy, to the volatile fortunes of Bitcoin. The final chapter of this epic tale is still being written. Today, May 31st, 2025, the world watches. His conviction is absolute. He predicts that acquiring Bitcoin will only become exponentially harder. Yet he pledges that MicroStrategy will persist, relentlessly seeking to buy more, efficiently. No force on earth can stop it, he proclaims of Bitcoin, his voice ringing with an almost messianic certainty. He sees a future where Bitcoin is the dominant store of value, and he intends for his company to be at the very center of that new world order. And the world is taking notice. Other corporations like GameStop and Trump Media have begun to add Bitcoin to their treasuries, following his trailblazing path. Even governments are making moves. In March 2025, the US government initiated the build of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The Department of Labor now allows Bitcoin in retirement plans. Corporate interest is, as Saylor noted, exploding. He was a pioneer, carving a path through an unknown wilderness. Yet Wall Street by and large remains skeptical of his all-or-nothing approach. Is it genius, a gamble of epic proportions, or a grand deception, built on hype and hope? The risks are undeniable, the potential rewards astronomical.